So you said that sometimes you suffered like temperamental people, but you are also quite temperamental with other people. So why is that?
But I didn't suffer with that other one who came to me. The only thing what I don't accept is people who want to tell me what to do. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. You know, I'm free to do. I run my own business. I just have the debt on the bank, but they're kissing my feet because we're paying back so fast. So I'm very self-confident about what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing. And even if there are people who don't like the way I behave or how I handle them, they are free to go. There's a door, you know, we don't have slavery anymore. But if you want to stay in the kitchen, you have to understand who's the boss, who's leading the pack. And at the end of the day, it's my name who's written there, it's my debt I did.
Mm-hmm. But why is it that often between chefs, this kind of personalities, so strong personalities, like maybe you could say things in another way?
You could, yeah, of course. And I think if you study social, environmental behavior, that's a good idea to do that. In the kitchen it's different, and everyone who starts to work in the kitchen understand very fast that if you try to do it on another way, you cannot get your target. Mm-hmm. You can improve. That is what I did also over the last 20 years, and to do it better, and to not using bad wordings like saying why you stupid fucking asshole was too dumb to bring me the salmon in time. You just can say, why you don't bring the salmon in time? What is the problem? How can we solve it? Mm-hmm. And but in the moments where you have the tension and it's pretty high and you're in the middle of a service, either it's lunch or dinner, there is no time for talking. Every second counts because you're sending out 900 plates in 2.5 hours. And yeah.
You all are very successful in the kitchens, all the chefs in Chef's Table, with food meals that are quite different from the ones that are made at home. Why is that?
Yes, but with my main restaurant, I also have a brasserie where we do simple French food. I have a restaurant where we do the dishes of my grandma. But at least, of course, it is a difference. You get successful because you can make food a cultural thing. And I think there's so different ways, especially if you're from Spain, you know that. You know, you have the tapas culture, you have a paella. This is things that really fed you up. Mm-hmm. And then you go to places, to fine dining restaurants where they take you on a journey through your palate, on a journey of the cultural way of like the Basque country, or in Barcelona, or you have in Madrid, you have this crazy guy with Divrecho who's doing things no one can bring together because he has his own way, very unique and an awesome guy. Mm-hmm. And that makes people to come to our places because we do a thing which is very close to the opera on a culinary way. But what I don't like, if this opera has the attitude, how you have to dress, how you have to behave, the way to tell you what to do. I want that more like I understand that hungry, thirsty can pay and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. How did you deal with the director of Chef's Table making everything so artistic and being in the middle of your territory, the kitchen?
It was not the director, it was more or less the camera, the head of camera. That was easy because he did that several times and he understands how he can move and walk around. With the director, we firstly had more or less the problem that she came more from the art way, where you discuss everything with your with the guy they're filming with, or in that case me. I don't want to call myself the actor, but I don't know weiß jemand von euch, was Protagonist auf Englisch heißt?
Main character.
The main character, yeah. And I told her she don't have to discuss with me. If she want me to do things which are not normal for me, like walking a street, that they can screen you from up or down or so. I'm not thinking about if that right or wrong, or she just have to tell me and have to write the order for me. Walk that 500 meters and come back, and that's it. And she said, yeah, but I want that you understand about that. And then I come closer to the cameraman and he had more the feeling how to write the order for me.
You said you like to provoke. What Spanish dish would you pick to provoke Spanish people? You know, it's very easy to provoke us with food.
It is that you find the right balance between spiciness, sweetness and acidity. So if it feels like you have ants dancing on your palate, that's the way I describe as provoking. If I overspice it and your entire mouth is just burning, that's nothing provoking, that's stupid and dumb. But it costed me 6-7 years until I get the balance. Before I overspice things, I make them too acidity, too hot, and that ruins also the wine pairing you have with. And because I respect wine, it's one of the few things I really respect, and I get a step back if I have a great wine next to me. I made my food more elegant, and what changed was before it was love or hate. So we had 10% of the customers didn't like what I did, and we had 45 love it, 45 hate it. And in the way I changed it, it becomes like 80% like it very much, 10% absolutely love it to death, and still 10% who hate it. But this you have to handle with. You cannot fulfill the expectations of everyone.
Okay, danke schön.
You have some more question? You can have. I have another 5 minutes for you.
Yeah? Ah, great. Was it good for your restaurant to be in chef's table?
Amazing. You must see, it's like hundreds of reservations. I mean, not 100 or 200, 300, 400, 500 reservations within the day it goes online. And still like this, where before we was packed 3 months in advance. Within just 2 weeks, we're packed for 6 months. It's amazing. It's even like every chef sees that, every ambitious chef, every food critic, it's bigger than the star, it's bigger than the 50 best list.
What's on with in chef's table with this slow motion camera style? Like, what's going on? Why did they
No
make
idea.
it? You have no idea. Was it like bothering you in the kitchen, or you didn't realize?
No, and I didn't realize that they do slow motion.
Okay, okay. Your episode goes after one dedicated to ramen. You think that your food and ramen is in the same level?
If you have once Ivan ramen, you understand, if you close the eyes and you get a bowl of my food, and we mean, you know, put away decoration and you just eat, you cannot make ramen better than him. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. And that guy is so, also he has really a stand of what he is, and he's using the F word very often, which I like very much. If I saw him, you know, and if I saw my episode the first time, I said, gosh, they can make me a bit more charming. And then I saw him and I say, yeah, I'm not the biggest asshole in that season. And people will complain more about him, but I love him. I didn't meet him in person. I was in New York the last days, but I went to the place. The ramen is so amazing, really. It's the best I ever had. It's great. And his episode touches me very much. If the moment where he telling about the death of his wife, I can even not imagine what that means if the most beloved person in your life dies.
Maybe you can tell me something you could do to our Spanish paella, like, or maybe you have done it already to change it?
Oh, I struggled so hard on paella. That's the reason why I mentioned. There's a German kitchen format. It's also very authentic. It's 2 top chefs challenging themselves and sending there somewhere. For me, it was Valencia, and I came there, and you come in a weird point in the city, wherever you are, and you get a plate. A box, you have to open the box, and there's the plate. And for me, it was paella. I said, okay. And then you start to eat the dish, to identify how the ingredients, then you have to identify how it was cooked. Then you go on the market, you have to source all the products, then you come to the original destination of the place and you have to cook it. And in my case, what I didn't know is that paella originally is not cooked on gas. It is cooked on wooden fire. And me, I'm a native of Berlin, you know, I don't know how fire is 1st of May, we burn cars, yeah, we can do that easily. But I never before did a fire, and I sucked up I fucked it up because I didn't get the fire. So I didn't cook the paella, it was a risotto. And can you imagine then the jury was the family of the owner of the restaurant was the paella. And I served them as paella risotto. I get out of 10 points, I think 1.8. It was the worst result ever. And even I make the chicken, and that was my fault because I was cooking in Spain a year. I made the chicken juicy like the Asians do, instead of doing it the Spanish way, so dye it a second time, dry. And so it's raw like sashimi is in Asian. That was really, I will never forget how I sucked with Valencia paella. Very funny.
We take paella very seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Not for that, my pleasure.